Stay alive and not get caught in the highs. Yeah, you pull me in circles till I am falling from cloud nine. And when you kiss me, I'm spinning till everything else is a blur. And when you touch me, I'm feeling the fire is starting to burn.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Prolific Profiles, and I am Gratian, and I'm coming at you with an exclusive episode. Going to be talking to a special guest by the name of Mikul Wing from Autograf, joining us via Zoom because he can't be here in Chicago. He's all the way out in California where he lives. So we're going to be appreciative of his time. So, if you guys don't know Autograf, they are very popular Chicago artists, born in Chicago, raised up in Chicago, accumulated a lot of popularity, and have millions upon millions of views and streams for their songs. And they have been going to crazy destinations, performing for a bunch of different audiences. So, let's get into it. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to, answer some questions. I got a few over here for you. With these questions, I usually like to kind of humanize artists with questions, because usually when, you meet fans are always kind of like very, like scared or something. They think like artists are like godlike and stuff. So like give you some easy questions to start with, get like rocking into it. All right. It's like, what's like a typical day for you out there in LA or as a music producer and everything?
Like at venues and stuff, just hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, between like, going to this performing and being in the studio and everything, how do you like spend your time just on the regular day?
On a regular day. Let's see. I'll do to like spin class with my girlfriend or yoga. Enjoy doing that. Hang out at the beach, roller skate. I don't know, just stuff like that. Cook some good meals, some good vegan meals. Yeah.
There you go. So to keep in line with the holidays coming up, what are you thankful and grateful for?
I'm grateful that I get to do something that I'm passionate about every day, and it's an ever-changing landscape of things that I love.
Definitely. That's definitely a dope thing. Could you guys get to travel to many different places, doing what you love, meeting a bunch of new people, right?
Yeah.
What is your what is your like favorite venue to play at?
Man, that's tough. It varies. Like there's some really cool intimate venues I really love. There's like a venue called Audio in San Francisco that's like a smaller venue that's just got an amazing sound system and great layout that I love playing there. All the way up to like, there's huge like festival stages and venues like that I love doing. Like those have just been like playing like EDC is like, just like a big dream, or Coachella, stuff like that. Those have been awesome shows.
That sounds excellent. How about what are your like favorite cities to visit or even just perform in?
Like whenever I get to go overseas, those are probably like my favorite times. Like getting to go to like Thailand and Bali, those are probably like two of my favorite countries in the world. So whenever I get to go there, I'm just happy to be there and get to spend some time there.
Definitely. And you are always with Lewis and I'm assuming Jake as well, right?
So when we tour, it's just Lewis and I.
Okay, sure. So what would you say would be like your most favorite moments together on tour?
Oh man, it's a tough one. It's been so many great moments. I think it's just like getting to play tourist in cities together is just really fun. I think getting to like see the sights in different places. So we're just like in Sri Lanka, and we got to go, see some temples and stuff. That stuff is always amazing to do together and hang out. Yeah.
Awesome. What is like something that you guys learned about each other and yourselves while you have been touring so long?
Yeah,
because you guys been doing this for a while, right?
Doing it for a while, yeah. I think we find parts of our personality that complement the other person a lot, and that's what has made this project work so well as like a group project as opposed to a single person.
True. And what kind of advice would you guys give or would you give to like beginning touring artists?
Get to know people along the road. I think it's always a good idea. Like, especially when you're just starting out, like, don't just come in, play your show, and leave when you're first starting. Like,
Right on.
meet people, say hi to the promoter. If they're doing dinner, get dinner with them. I think building those relationships in different cities down the road will really help you as like you get bigger.
Definitely. And like we said before, you guys been touring for a long time and playing music together for such a long time. I actually remember first seeing you guys perform live as a bass artist group, Midnight Conspiracy. You guys
Yeah, yeah. Way
ever
back
have
in the day in
do you guys
Chicago.
ever get to have any time to reflect upon that, on that era in your life?
That was like a really cool time. We did like one reunion show at North Coast in Chicago. This was already now several years ago. We haven't done anything since that. But I think through that was very like a something we started in Chicago through like doing loft parties and throwing shows of our own and stuff. So it really gave us a learning perspective from like learning the ins and outs of like doing shows and things of that nature. And then when we launched Autograph, it was something that we launched very much as an online thing to start, like like through this like the blog days of like Hype Machine and SoundCloud and stuff. So we really focused on that. Where Midnight Conspiracy was very like rooted in like the Chicago music scene.
That's super cool. And I remember when I first saw you guys are performing in Lincoln Hall as like almost an iconic scene for me. I remember you guys had like the triangular LED setup right there.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
would you like that venue over there?
Lincoln Hall, that's one of my favorite venues in Chicago because they kind of took a chance on us early on. They gave us a monthly party there called DeLorean Nights that we did for like a year or two. And the team there, I don't know if it's the same team there now as it was back then, but they really let us do something that we really felt passionate about, and they believed in our passion and helped us put that together. So it was really cool to work with them.
So is that how you guys built up your following, just doing like monthly shows or something at Lincoln Hall?
So let's see. We started with loft parties in Chicago. We had this like illegal loft space that we would throw shows at, and we had some really cool artists come through and play there. Artists like Justice and Crystal Castles and
That's awesome.
Mastercraft and stuff. So there was just like some really cool artists that came through back in the day and played in this loft space that we had. And then we started doing some weekly shows. We were doing weekly. It's gone now, but Angels and Kings in Chicago. We had a party there called Disappear Here, and then with Spy Bar, we had a late night, like 2 to 4 a.m. residency there, which was really cool. And then we started doing some 18 plus shows at Lincoln Hall. And then with House of Blues, we partnered with party out in New York called Boys and Girls, and we did a couple of versions of those in Chicago with their support. So yeah, it's just like very much through coming up with that, and then we were lucky enough to meet the guys from Zed's Dead at the time and their agent, and he brought us on board, and we started releasing music through Ultra back then. Yeah, as the old group.
That's a pretty good way to start up for sure.
Yeah.
What has all that taught you about like, the industry?
Oh, man. I mean, like, yeah, I think it's cool to have like thrown shows and know that side of the industry a little bit because it gives you kind of some insight on what promoters are going through as they throw shows.
Yeah, definitely. So how did you and Lewis start and or how did you guys meet, I should say?
Lewis was he was just like trying to be a DJ in Chicago. I was throwing some loft parties in this like art space kind of, and I gave him his first gig, and then we collaborated on some other stuff together, parties and whatnot, and just kind of grew from there.
That's awesome. And do you guys still indulge in kind of like bass music now, or do you guys completely do house music all the time?
Mostly house music now. Like part of the reason why I think we pulled like I love that music still, but part of the reason I pulled away from it is the shows just weren't shows that I was loving anymore. Like the crowded bass music shows and stuff just wasn't for me, I guess, at the time anymore. And I just wanted something for me that felt a little bit different, and that's why I went in a different direction musically.
So those are the you still like the music, right? So it's just kind of like the crowd and everything that made kind of like switch up to
Yeah,
autograph.
yeah, I like the music, and like I think from like bass music is cool in the sense of like just like a sound design perspective and stuff. It's really neat and awesome. But yeah, it just wasn't for me like on a personal level. Maybe it was like yeah, I don't know, just wasn't something that I was vibing the shows of anymore. And Autograph was something like I started going to see these other artists that I started really loving in the shows and whatnot. And yeah, I think some of those artists just kind of really inspired us to start Autograph, and I loved what they were doing. Artists like Disclosure and there's this artist back in the day, Cyril Hahn, and some other people like that. I just remember going to their shows and being like, wow, this is such a vibe, and I loved it.
All right, so you got those. You would say those were like your personal inspirations for kind of like diving into house music.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Chicago, obviously there's a big house music scene, and I was doing house music before that, like with Spy Bar and stuff. We were doing house music there on Thursday nights and stuff. But I think there was kind of this second wave of like this of house music that like Disclosure really kind of like was on the forefront of, and kind of built that scene around. And I loved that coming of that style of house music that kind of came out of that and those shows and crowds and stuff.
No, but we guys definitely jumped into it smoothly. You guys have been doing a good job of it. I've been enjoying most of your tunes as well.
Thanks.
I must ask you a question as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever regret shaving your mustache?
I don't. Yeah, I used to have
And
like
the long hair. We would be matching right now.
I had hair that was like way past my shoulders and a big mustache. It was a very different look for me, and
It's super iconic, I
it
swear.
was. Yeah, I just I think it was just like at the time I loved it. But yeah, it's just change up.
Yeah, like when I saw that, I was like, these guys are the shit. These guys are playing good shows right now. Let's meet them. Let's see them. So how did the Autograph project start?
We started. So the three of us were just working on some music. I remember we had this like even the music and Autograph has changed over time. So there was like this idea of like there's a couple of these tracks like the artist Cyril Hahn I mentioned who did like these really cool like slowed down kind of like 100 to 110 BPM like house inspired remixes of like hip hop and R&B songs, and I was really vibing on those and pitched down vocals and stuff. So it kind of started with doing some of those and just kind of releasing these bootlegs out there on SoundCloud, and people just really loved it, and it grew our fan base. And it wasn't something, I don't think when we put that stuff out there, it was something we really expected. It was just something that we wanted to do. And the reception from people was amazing, and we started making more of those, and I think we did like 7 or 8 bootlegs before we even released our first original song. So it's just doing a lot of those to start.
I bet you guys have a lot of unreleased songs still, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh man, that'll be interesting to hear about those. So when did Jay Carpenter come into the picture?
Oh, the three of us, we were friends before he had a project before.
Okay.
And we were down in Kentucky working on some stuff together, and yeah, the project just kind of came out of that.
For sure. So what role do you guys have for each of the members of the Autograph project? Or do you guys just do random stuff?
I think we all just do everything. Yeah, we're just like it's like bouncing ideas off each other and whatnot.
Sounds like fun. So what does your creative process look like? Like when you start getting into the studio, do you guys jump into making music right away, or do you guys have to like go off some random ideas first?
It always varies. I mean, there's songs we started where we'll like be in the studio with a vocalist and we'll be writing. There's songs where we'll just kind of like come up with some instrumental idea and send that around people. And then sometimes people send us really cool top line that we really vibe with and we want to write around it. So it really varies on all sides. Like you could start with just, I guess there's like 3 main starting ways. It's like starting with drums, starting with the main lead synth, or starting with a vocal. It's kind of like the 3 ways.
That's awesome. What would you say, like what song established Autograph as the brand?
Oh man, I don't know if there's like one single song, because I think there's been different iterations of like music we've made. I mean, I think our very first original song, Dream, was a big deal for us because it was just the first original we put out there on a label. So that was a big deal for us. Even like most recently, we released a song called Love Runs Deep that is more in the style that we've been playing more. It's a little bit more like upbeat house type stuff. And
yeah, I remember every time I thought of Autograph, I usually have Metaphysical playing in my head as well. So that was that was running in my head for a while too. I think one of my more favorite songs right now is or that I always see myself going back to is Dead Soon.
Okay.
That's a really interesting song. I like the idea of it. The lyrics seem to be really in touch with me because I like being spontaneous and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
we like the lyrics said, like we're almost dead soon, so might as well kind of like jump into what we're doing. And like obviously the other side of the lyrics would be to experience it with somebody else, right?
Yeah, that was one of those songs where we started. Lil, we've done 2 songs with her. She's an amazing vocalist based out here in LA, and Jimmy Harry, who's a producer we've worked with on a couple songs as well. and he works with her a lot, and that was a fun one to write together.
And did you guys ever expect this amount of success that you have right now when you started the Autograf product, or you guys just like wanted to get into it for fun and see what happens?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a big expectation of anything when we started. It was just like, let's put some cool music out there that we were really vibing with, and play some shows that we want to, like, basically wanted to play shows that I wanted to attend, and that was kind of how it started, and just kind of went from there.
That's awesome. And now you guys are like consistently raking in like tens of thousands of views, millions of plays on streams and stuff. What would be your favorite Autograf song that you guys created so far?
It's always, I think, just for me, the most recent song. So
Yeah.
whatever song we just put out, I always feel the biggest connection to, because it's something that we worked so hard towards. And then when it finally comes out, it's like this very proud moment. So our song Vertigo that just came out right now is currently my favorite song. And it's also, we've been playing it out for like the last like 6-7 months since we wrote it. And it's one of those songs that works really well in a club setting as well. It's kind of got like this great build and drop to it. So it's also been a great reaction song.
So you guys usually release songs after you kind of perform a little bit with them in the clubs, right? Kind of testing them out.
Yeah, because I think there's always, you're always kind of changing stuff around in it. So you want to like club test it, like get it out there, see how people vibe to it. I mean, there's obviously some songs that are written more as like songs that are more about maybe not being always straight club songs, but even with those, you want to hear them on a sound system. Just kind of see how everything sounds on a big sound system. It's always really important.
Definitely. And you guys started this year with a Move Up, which actually was released on my birthday on February 11th. I saw it on Spotify. So
Awesome.
I want to say thank you for that birthday present right there.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate that one. It's a
Come
really
on.
awesome song. I
Yeah.
usually like the more deep sounding songs about that. So do you also have it's called Lyrah Taken? That's a remix as well. How do you guys choose your remixes?
Lyrah.
Oh, Lyrah.
Lyrah, yeah. She's a really cool artist. I met her through Twitter. She DM'd us. She's kind of in like the Web3 space, and we were doing some stuff in that. And she had this really cool idea on how to release the remix through an NFT drop, and giving away parts of the royalties to people, and giving them song metrics and stats and stuff, and kind of like letting them be part of that process that an artist goes through. And I just thought that was really interesting. So when she came with us at that idea, we were like, yeah, I love that idea. Let's do it. And that's how that came about.
Sounds great. And then you guys came up with Love Runs Deep afterwards, which
Yeah.
I see on Spotify got 4 million views right now. And that was only like a few months ago.
Yeah, that's like I think that's our #1 trending song on Spotify right now. And that's been a crowd favorite as well. It's just like a great vocal club song.
No, tell me about this song. What is it about?
So yes, I mean, we've written 2 songs with her, the vocalist from that, and both of them are kind of love songs in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about finding that person who you bond with on like a deeper level.
And you also have a few releases with Tiina as well, I see.
Yeah, so yeah, she did Love Runs Deep, and then I Have That Love. Yeah, that's the other. So yeah, we did 2 songs with her.
She has a great voice. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I hear her voice, she gives me a
Nice.
bunch of
Yeah,
chills.
her vocal stylings are kind of unique, and that's what we really loved about working with her. So after we did Love Runs Deep, that was a song that she had sent over the top line for, and we were like, oh, we really vibe with this. We think there's something really cool with this. And then we were like, let's do another song together. And then we wrote I Am That New Love.
So when you guys make songs like that, do you come up with lyrics, or one of your Autograf members come up with lyrics, or does the vocalist come up with the lyrics for that?
It varies song to song. So with that song, she had written those lyrics prior and sent us that top line, and we loved it and we wanted to write around it. And then other times there's songs that be in the studio and kind of just talking about what songs mean to us and what like emotions we want to convey, and kind of just work with the vocalist to write those songs.
So you kind of like lay out some kind of like concept around the song, and then they kind of work around it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. And I know one of your more recent ones are Inner Light as well.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I like that one. Tell me about that song a little bit.
So yeah, that one was one that was kind of written in the studio with him, and we're working another song with him, and he kind of really gave us like Rufus, Bob Moses vibes, and we wanted to write something. We have an album that we're working on right now called Affirmation, so it really plays into the themes of that album. So when we were writing it, it was just kind of about letting like your inner light shine bright, is essentially like the concept of the song, and we wrote those lyrics together, and yeah, it's really lovely.
Definitely a beautiful song. It's super calming as well, like with the whole energy of the production as well. I love it. And you also, yeah, and you guys have Vertigo, which is your last remix, right? Or last original, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys link up with Burko for that? And what's it, how I don't know how to pronounce her name.
So yeah, we were in San Diego. We had just played a show with Burko, and we had an extra day or two in San Diego. We were just like hanging out, a little hungover, and went over to his studio. And we had started writing another song kind of online together prior to that, and it wasn't really going where we wanted to go. And kind of just opened up some other sessions, and Vertigo came from that. Malou had sent over some vocals previously from another session we did with her in LA. And that vocal just kind of really fit with something else we were writing, and we kind of like put it together. And yeah, the song, it's really like that song was pretty much written in like one sitting at Burko Studio in San Diego the day after a show. Kind of all came together really quickly, and then just tweaked little things here and there. But yeah.
Is that usually how long it takes to make a track?
No, that one was really quick. Sometimes we have tracks that have taken us like 3 years to write, and then we have tracks that come together in like a couple days. So it really varies.
You guys are consistently getting those numbers. You guys are definitely have a lot of hits on your hands. And just Vertigo, you guys released it last week and it already has like 50K streams on Spotify. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You guys said that the reaction to the crowds was really amazing so far, right?
Yeah, that's a great song to play out live because it has such high energy build, and the drop really gets people going. So yeah.
So a lot of your music does have the theme of like love and self-love and care. What would you say you would want your audience to take out from all the songs that you create?
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. So it's really about like self-discovery, valuing yourself as a person, valuing other people around you. The whole concept of autograph was, how do we leave our mark on the world? And the most literal way to do that is to like leave your signature, your autograph on something. But really, as a person, how do you leave your mark on the world? What do you want to leave behind? That's kind of the theme of everything we've written, and I think self-love and love to others really plays into that a lot.
Awesome. So that's kind of how you guys came up with the name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an awesome theme. I like that. So I do like to I have the idea behind these interviews. Like I'm a big believer in like manifesting and positivity and stuff like that. Self-love, of course. You guys have created such a good success for yourselves so far. Where do you guys see yourselves in like 5 or 10 years, or where are your goals for like this music?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, everything we've done has always just been about the journey for us. So it's very much just like doing things that we personally really enjoy. So it's hard to say in 5, 10 years what I'm personally going to be really passionate about. But for right now, it's still making music and playing it live for people and things like that. But I don't think there's like this super big end goal for anything. I mean, it's not like it's planned out where we want to be like the next like Marshmallow or something like that, where we're like,
Right.
it's nothing like that for us, where it's like really, really thought out in that sense. It's more just like do the things that speak to us and put it out there into the world and see how people react to it. And that's always changing. So, life's about the journey, and that's what's most important to us.
Lovely. So you guys very much just live in the moment then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a definitely good way to leave your autograph. I feel like a lot of people actually would be taking a lot into that just right off of that message right there. Don't think about too much in the future. Just be living in the moment.
Yeah.
Your lyrics definitely seem to be very passionate and motivating. So I really appreciate the music you guys will release. I'd be bumping it all the time, and definitely looking forward to you guys in Chicago or whenever you guys play in Chicago.
Yeah. I'll be there.
What new music do you guys have coming up? Do you guys have any more plans for this year, or are you guys leaving something up in the next year?
So the next song, yeah, I mean, everything kind of shuts down between Thanksgiving and New Year's in like the music industry. So we won't have anything coming out during that time. But then come beginning of January, we'll put out another song. A couple more on the roadmap, and then we have an album called Affirmations that'll be coming out probably sometime in March.
So that's going to be your second album?
Second album, yeah, our second album.
And your first one was debuted in 2020, right?
Yeah, that was an interesting one because we had written that album, and we were actually on an album tour when COVID hit forward. It was supposed to come out a few months before that, and then everything kind of shut down, and we postponed the album a little bit. We ended up writing one more song for the album during that time, and then it came out like 6 months later after that. But
That's awesome. So you guys plan on you have a bunch of singles out. You have a couple of EPs, correct? And then you have
We have two
yeah,
EPs, and then our second album. Yeah,
the second album is coming out. You said it's coming up in March. That's super exciting.
tentatively, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Tentatively.
So what advice would you give to any kind of a new artist that would be looking for the kind of success that you're looking for or that you gained at least?
Um, do something that you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about something, you're gonna put, 100% effort into that thing, versus like chasing something that maybe perhaps you see other people doing and you're like, oh, like I think that would work, but it's really just about being passionate about what you're doing because you're gonna put more effort and more work, and it's not gonna feel like work when you're doing it like that. So that's what I would recommend for people.
Definitely some great words. And that's probably all the questions that I really have for you, man. I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to speak with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
See you in Chicago
yeah, I hope
soon.
you have a good time in Chicago. You're celebrating with your family,
Yeah,
right?
I'll be with my family. My mom still lives out there, so it'll be great to see her.
Well, again, thank you so much.
Sounds good, man. Great talking.
So there you have it, guys. The words of the amazing and talented Mikul Wing from Autograf. I am Gratian. This is Prolific Profiles. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and definitely make sure you check out Autograf's new songs and stay tuned for their upcoming album that we were just talking about in the upcoming year. And don't forget to give Mikul and Autograf, Lewis, Jake a follow as well. So there you have it, guys. See you next time.
sirens calling, la 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 la. Breaking through the silence just like la 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 la. My heart keeps on chasing the song you've been playing in my mind. In your eye, your eye, your eye. In your eye. You know I like you bad when you don't think twice. We can ride forever, we can drive all night. Take the 47 down to paradise, 'cause I see forever in your eyes. In your eyes. In your eyes, your eyes,
You've been walking under dark clouds, starting to feel that you're not strong enough. Oh, fighting battles with the same doubts, trying to hold on, but the pain is loud. When your head's getting heavy, let me be your pillow. I love you if you let me in, let me in. When your head's getting heavy, let me be your pillow. I love you if you let me in, let me in. If you feel love, I love you back together, love you back here. If you're feeling love, if you're feeling love, love you back together, love you back here. If you're feeling if you need it, then you know where I'll be. Time apart, but for my love it runs deep. Make a promise in this one I'm gon' keep. I'll be there whenever that you're in need. When your head's getting heavy, let me be your pillow. I love you if you let me in, let me in. When your head's getting heavy, let me be your pillow. I love you if you let me in, let me in. If you're feeling love, I love you back together, love you back here. If you're feeling love, time apart, my love runs
Trying to stay alive and not get caught in the highs. Yeah, you pull me in circles till I am falling from cloud nine. And when you kiss me, I'm spinning till everything else is a blur. And when you touch me, I'm feeling the fire is starting to burn.
driving to the chase, but you make me unsteady whenever I see your face. And when you kiss me, I'm spinning till everything else is a blur. And when you touch me, I'm feeling the fire is starting to burn. You give me vertigo.
Chances that I've taken, but all they ever did was lead me nowhere. I let my heart dive in the deep end. Down solo, swore I won't do it no more. So tell me why I get this feeling, and every move you make, it makes it stronger. It's like I'm dancing in the ceiling. The way you go down low, I know I can't let go. Change my mind, say I don't need a lover, but you made me wanna lay my heart all on your hands, stay up all night, high on that new love. Looking in your eyes, I think I might just have to let you change my mind. Say I don't need a lover, but you made me wanna lay my heart all on your hands, stay up all night, high on that new love. You said your lips to give me fever. The magic of this late night moment. You know I ain't a big believer, but you got me on my knees and telling all my secrets. Looking in your eyes, I think I might just have to let you change my mind. Say I don't need a lover, but you made me wanna lay my heart all on your hands, stay up all night, high on that new love. It's like I'm dancing in the ceiling. Like I'm dancing in the ceiling. It's like I'm dancing in the ceiling. La 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 la. It's like I'm dancing in the ceiling. I was supposed to take it slow, but here I go, giving in to you. I was supposed to keep my distance, but your kisses got me fever dreaming. Looking in your eyes, I think I might just have to let you change my mind. Say I don't need a lover, but you made me wanna lay my heart all on your hands, stay up all night, high on that new love. Looking in your eyes, I think I might just have to let you change my mind. Say I don't need a lover, but you made me wanna lay my heart all on your hands, stay up all
heart opens. You show me your inner light. Your inner light. And when your heart opens, you show me your inner light. Your inner light. Show me your inner light. Your inner
I wanna be something, but right now I can't. Divided by nothing, don't want a second chance. You pull me under, sinking through for hours. When you get closer, I know. Tracing my fingers down you, memorize your body. I've been so taken by you. Sorry that I'm taken, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. You pull me under, sinking through for hours. When you get closer,